Hey guys, this is Voices in Your Head live from your mom's basement. How's everyone doing today? Hope it's going well. No, scratchy rug and, oh goodness, what's the other guy? Hopefully more join the political web show here soon. Ragged Sphere, welcome to the stream, guys. Hope you're having a fantastic day. So, this political web show, I actually want to talk about a few very important topics. We'll finally get off the topic of Trump for a little bit, as that all fun stuff is going out great, especially with the new tax plan and everything else that's been happening this year. Uh-oh. Booyah. Shish kebab. So the topics that we're going to be talking today is actually some overpopulation stats that everyone is always... Nice. Thank you there, Mohawk. If you can try and keep everyone on topic on this episode, because it's a political episode, I am not playing with viewers on this one. So if you could help out with that one, that would be fantastic. But anyways, the topic is overpopulation stats, which people love to push the agenda of overpopulation. Then we're going to actually also talk a little bit about inner cities and the issues with big cities and what they kind of have. So I mean, we're going to touch up on gangs and different things like that. Just Mohawk, that this is not a gaming with viewers episode. This is a political episode, so if people start asking to play, that it's not playing with viewers on this episode, just talking politics and staying on topic, preferably. Wow. What a jerk. What a shot. So anyways, we're the inner cities, so we're going to touch up on the gangs, all the issues that big cities tend to have in the really inner city communities, and a possible solution that I've kind of thought up of. I mean, it might have already been a thought. I've never heard of anyone thinking of this kind of solution, and I wonder where we could kind of take it in a sense. I think it's a really good idea. I'll mention that a little bit later on in the broadcast, but so anyways, we're gonna talk a little bit about some stats for you guys on overpopulation, since a lot of Democrats and liberals love to sit there and push the agenda that this world is very overpopulated. Alright, now I went and did some research and whatnot, and we will actually probably talk about those stats here after this match. What's up there, Double Rainboom? How you doing today? Oh, no, that was a fail. So anyways, I don't know if any of you guys have any opinions on the whole overpopulation. I always love to hear that. I'm glad you're here. Doing great there, Double Rainbow. Oh, get that shot so close. Punch him in the face. So we are what we Alright, so overpopulation stats, okay? We are going, here's some population stats, okay? So this is actually pretty not knowledgeable for people who has done any sort of research on overpopulation, okay? So total land surface of this earth, to let you guys know, is about 57.3 million square miles. Alright? Now we're closing in on 8 billion people. So if you turn around and do all the fun math of overpopulation and things like that, Statistics say that basically 33% of that land is supposed like desert, and 24% of that land is mountainous. All right, so supposedly that's all uninhabitable by Democrats and things like that. 2025 supposed to have 10 billion. That's a possibility. You never know. Things change and happen all the time, right? I mean, there can be a big disaster, a big war. So we'll see how that ends up. But, so if we're about 8 billion, okay, and so what that does is that puts 57% of the land supposedly uninhabitable, which that's deserts and mountainous, which we'll talk about that here in a bit. And so in other words, about 43% of it, so about 24.664 million square miles is habitable. All right. That comes down to just over, if every single individual person had like their own piece of land, everyone could get like just over 2 acres of land. Okay, I don't know if any of you guys know what an acre is. I'm not sure the exact like number on that, but an acre is pretty big. So each individual person gets just over 2 acres. All right, that's actually quite a bit of land. And then on top of that, if you actually add the other uninhabitable land, that's saying that we all get 3 more acres on top of that. So total, we're getting just over 5 acres. Oh my gosh, I'm not paying attention. We are getting destroyed. All right, so we're hitting about 5 acres of land for every single individual person. All right. Now, if you want to sit there and talk, so the big argument, 0.003125 square miles for 1 acre. Ooh. Yeah, an acre is pretty big. I'll tell you that. Like, it's really big. It's impressive. So anyways, oh, no, that's going in. Bad play. So from that, and then on top of that, we're talking about 2/3 of the earth is water, roughly, about. I guess it's like 79% of the earth is about water, or something like that. Oh boy, we just got schooled again. I didn't push that. So we got that. I actually gotta turn on my party here real quick. Alright, so that's a lot of land for each individual person. Knowing that bit of information right off the top of your head makes you think, wow, you know, this earth really isn't that overpopulated, so I don't know what's up with that, right? So if everyone gets like 5 acres, that's a ridiculous amount of land. Alright, as for deserts and mountainous areas not being inhabitable, I don't know if we could say that, because I mean, let's take a few looks at like people live in deserts, like straight up lives in deserts. Okay, we're talking about like Arabs. We're talking about Las Vegas. How you doing there, Hydra? I mean, Las Vegas is straight up living in a desert, and you know what? They got a pretty big city there. Just saying. We got people live over in the Middle East. There's a lot of people live over in the Middle East, right? And a lot of that land is like desert. In fact, I can actually tell you what, I actually live in a pretty big city as well. I won't tell you where, but so we live in this several cities area, and we are actually considered a desert as well. Well, we are actually a very striving community, and we live in a desert. So what does that tell you? Yeah, I mean, is that part of the 57% of uninhabitable land as well, because we strive here pretty well, and it's not that big of an issue as much as I know. I mean, we all live and provide and have farmland and everything else here in the desert, you know? So that's pretty darn interesting. What do you think about the end of the world? Oh, the end of the world is probably a different topic about if you want to get into religion. The end of the world could be many, many different things, and personally no one is supposed to ever know until basically it happens, kind of thing, right? Whoops. Arco. Nope. No, nope, nope. So, is it really uninhabitable land? And if we can establish that it's not really uninhabitable land, then how is it that we can't count the full 5 acres of land, right? Oh, that rolled right over my car. That's sucky. And so I don't know, that's kind of really debatable, but even if you don't count those 3 extra acres of land for each individual person, you're still talking about 2 acres of land, which is still a lot of land that I could totally go out and make farms and everything else. And so people's complaint about, is that 2 acres of land really possible to live under? Yeah, very much so, because each person can do whatever they want with it. And sure, there's water. I mean, granted, we could start getting into resources, because now Democrats are pushing towards the fact that it's not the land, like, we're not overpopulated because we don't have enough land in the world. Now they're saying, oh, we don't have enough resources in the world, which, if that's the case, I don't know, we keep getting resources. I mean, we probably definitely need more farmers. I mean, we probably very much need more farmers. I mean, I feel that there's probably more farmers leaving to live in a big city compared to, like, people from the cities going out and being a farmer. I mean, farmers feed the world, straight up. Alright, and farmers do a lot of good for the world, absolutely. What's up there, Sea Dog? How you doing? In 5 billion years, sun's supposed to... in 5 billion years, man, we'll be long gone before 5 billion years. We won't even hardly see a difference in the sun change, I can tell you that. Yeah, global warming. I've had enough conversations about global warming and things, which we can always talk about that one another day. Oh, overpopulation's a little different from the sun going boom and global warming. I mean, like I said, yeah, I know the last 2 matches we've been getting wrecked. That's alright. Let me tell you what there, Mohawk. There is no way that you will ever even remotely come close to seeing the sun blowing up or the sun getting too hot for the Earth. Although, if you really want to talk about it real quick, have to go see you another time. Have a good day. Absolutely there, Double Rainbow. Thanks for hanging out. This political web show will also be on my YouTube channel if you're interested in that. Oh, what? Almost close play. So anyways, oh goodness. Let's put it this way, okay? In the scriptures, Bible and whatnot, talks about, the end of days, kinda how basically everyone needs to be baptized of water and then fire being the Holy Ghost, in a sense. So if we're talking about the earth also needs to be baptized by water and fire, supposedly Noah's Ark was a baptism of water for earth. What's up there, the boss man? Uh-oh, that was bad. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I'll be streaming Fortnite a little bit later. Try and stay a little bit on topic, guys. This is a political web show for a little bit longer. Not too much longer, and then we might be getting into playing some games. Probably not Jackbox unless it's later tonight. Let's try and stay on topic. I gotta keep this going out. Watch your mouth there, the boss man. So anyways, Manila Badger, how you doing? So, baptism of fire, could that be something with something happens with the sun and the earth gets baptized in fire? And I can tell you what, if Noah's Ark was a protection for the flood, the great flood of the earth, I would think that Heavenly Father would have something, to protect people from the fire as well. So, please watch your mouths, guys, in my stream. I don't really appreciate that a whole lot. Thanks. There's but so how are you baptized in fire, man? How's that work? So anyways, back to the topic of overpopulation, right? So I'm not sure that we're really overpopulated. There's really nothing that actually pushes the agenda of us being overpopulated. I would kind of agree with the concept of, you know, we should probably be a little bit more careful about resources and not getting too carried away, but I think overall we really need to watch out more. No, this is very much a political web show. You can type !status to check out the title. You missed the other T there, Mo. It's status. Alright. So anyways, with that, well, we could probably watch ourselves with resources, especially in those bigger cities, which I want to really get in touch with the inner city problem here very, very shortly. Because what happens is, let's put it this way, okay? We know that the biggest majority of Democrats, alright, tend to live in bigger cities, okay? Democrats are usually the ones who believe in overpopulation. Usually it's because people tend to think and know, like, knowledgeably about what is going on in their real life. So living in a big city, if you do not travel much, you would kind of think that, you know, the world is overpopulated because there's so many people living there in that city, right? Whether it's New York, San Francisco, LA, or whatever else, right? So if we got that going on, and Republicans tend to live more out in the country and things like that. Now, granted, yes, that's not always 100%, but that's the general idea of it. All right, those are kind of the statistics and the facts. That was actually proven very much. Every single election year is proven that people who vote Republican tend to live in the countries, and the people who tend to vote Democrat tend to live in big cities. That's just kind of the stats of it. So with that bit of information, thank you for smacking me in the face there, Eat My Wallex, whatever your gamer tag is. Oh, come on. So pushing that forward, it is, oh crud. I don't know. Are you guys interested in this? We can keep, I want to keep this going in all honesty. Hey, on topic, please noted. I'd appreciate it. So, la. Push it. Push it, push it. Head back around. Get it done. So as Democrats, man, sorry for the slight little silence there. That was a little awkward. Make for a fun time, right? So, pushing, believing in overpopulation and all that fun jazz. People living in these inner cities. Now we know as people tend to gather, crime tends to rise in those areas. All right. And if crime tends to rise, then well, there's a lot of inner city problems. It's what I'm getting at, is a big overall problem. Mohawk says, I believe something's gonna happen. We're like a disease. Oh, crud. Will kill 15% of the population. You never know, man. Really, the big things that tend to happen is because, a lot of evil's getting wiped out and all sorts of different things, or just Earth itself is kind of cleaning out the... I don't know, it's all interesting. Things happen all the time. Plagues can happen, usually because when overpopulation is too large. Not yay and nay. It all really depends on the fact that when overpopulation is happening, if we are not taking care of things properly, then diseases and things will happen because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing in order to take care of our Earth. I mean, if you've known, like, a lot of hygiene and different things have gotten a whole lot better. We have a whole lot less diseases in the Earth, and we have a whole lot more people living on this Earth than we ever have, at least to all my knowledge. Yes and no. I mean, there's a lot of things that we're coming up with resources. That's kind of where farmers are coming from. If you guys... So, as of, problems with, let's see... Yeah, except the Earth really isn't overpopulated, right? We've kind of proven that a little bit. Absolutely. So anyways, if we're... I wish people was kind of helping out with the conversation a little bit more. With the concept of overpopulation in inner cities. Inner cities, let's put it this way, we got a whole bunch of gangs, crime. When crime starts happening, especially lower poverty, in a sense, when poverty's happening as well, it is very much screwing up. That guy just totally scored for them. Yeah, You know, I am Ammo Crate wasn't able to get in on this, which sucks because he helps keep me on track a little bit. And I was hoping that you guys would a little bit, but you guys are kind of doing some weird, funky stuff in my chat because you're having fun. Which I have a lot of information I'm trying to give out. I just can't think at the moment. With like gangs. Well, gosh, I keep going back to the same topic, but I can't ever get where I want to go, right? Get it out of here. Alright, so, well, we all know we have a big problems with inner cities, plain and simple. Whether it's crime, everything else wrong with it, lack of money, lack of resources, a lot of poverty, and so when people get into poverty, they tend to get into gangs or all sorts of problems. You got the ghetto and whatnot. We're talking about big cities, alright? And so they're always talking about trying to fix those inner cities and do something with them. Atlanta, right? Chicago. And it causes a lot of problems and a lot of different things, whether it's murder, whether it's theft, you know, identity theft, whatever. It's because people are getting desperate and they want to try and make a living, but they don't know how because there's so much going on in those areas that it just gets a little ridiculous. Oh, that's super helpful there, Mohawk. So I'm going to end up throwing out my solution, and if you guys, I would love it, well, a possible solution, you know, and I'll kind of, I would be more than happy to debate it and see what you guys think about it as well and everything else. I think overall what happens is, I know people love living in big cities and whatnot, but in the end, what happens is a lot of bad things start to happening in those bigger cities, alright? I know people love to live at them and everything else, and I'm not saying kick a bunch of people out. My possible solution, though, is actually that us as an American government, not to get like the government involved too much, because personally I don't think the government should control our lives so much, but I think they should help kind of dictate things a little bit and help get things going to help better our lives. I believe that's kind of what they are for. And so what's gonna happen? What I believe that I think that we should do to help solve a bunch of these problems in one thing is, what if the government, like, say, picked a spot on the land of America, North America, right? And was just like, hey, you know what? We should make a city here. Alright, we know that we have a bunch of land, right? And so if we have a bunch of land, why can't the government be like, okay, we want to build a city here. Alright? Now, not to turn around and be like, force people to live in this city, but to, like, in a sense, encourage people to move and grow a new city. Alright? Probably about from the ground up, because we have enough land to do so. That's not the issue whatsoever. And if that's the case, if we are growing a whole new city and the government is encouraging people to move to those places, like possibly tax cuts and all sorts of ways to encourage people, which is very, very much a possibility. right? That hopefully encourage even people from the inner cities to move out. Because let's put it this way, okay? If we say a criminal goes to jail or prison or something like that, all right, one of the biggest solutions that cops and everything else always says to people is basically stay away from your friends, right? Now, I'm not saying grab every single criminal and get them to move out. Like I've said, I keep saying encouragement, all right? And if we can encourage people who are possibly causing problems or getting people to move out of a bigger city and start growing another bigger city, and start, when that happens, we're talking about, we're encouraging all these other bigger businesses, because the economy is going to grow so well in those cities by encouraging so many people to start moving there. A lot of resources are going to be bought and spent and everything else. Like a lot of companies. Does not sound good to you? I would love to hear why they're noted, Crabbage. So if we encourage those people to move out, one, it would help lower those inner cities to where there's not so much crime. It would help people split up a little bit so that people aren't so jam-packed in one area, because when people are so jam-packed up, it helps diminish the crime in those certain areas as well. Now, I'm not... It's kind of a general idea, kind of like a thought in a sense, and I definitely believe it's something to work on and think more of, but I very much believe that it's a very, very good idea to think on and possibly push it if people like the idea. Crabbage is apparently gonna... Crime is a thing that will never go away. Yes and no. They're noted, Crabbage. Oh, I wish I would have looked up stats for crime, but the biggest majority of all crime happens in bigger cities. Like if you go out to smaller cities, smaller towns and all things like that, there really isn't that much crime. And the reason for that is because there's no need, because those smaller towns tend to actually do more successful, which means more people are doing more successful, which means there's a whole lot less people really worried about money and being desperate to do those crimes, because really most people don't do crime unless they're like desperate or in the need of something. I mean, granted, yes, every now and then you'll get those people who just commit crimes just to commit crimes, whether it's murder or whatever else, right? However, smaller communities that are growing up or different things like that, they tend to back each other up. Smaller communities tend to do better. They have better moral support and support for communities, for everyone in their community, especially if they're working together and making it grow. Jobs are not easy to get. If a city is being grown, if a city is growing, jobs are made on a massive scale. Absolutely. If a city is being grown, businesses are coming in, factories are coming in, because we need more resources, we need to build more things, and so then in turn they need to hire more people, all right, because the city's being grown. So then in turn it pushes a lot of jobs being created as the city is growing faster. A lot of construction work, a lot of financial work, offices, all sorts of stuff on a constant basis. Plus, on top of that, like the encouragement to get um, people to move there, as well as businesses. And businesses want to move there because what's happening is because a city is growing. Let's take example of this, okay? Now we all know I live in Idaho, okay? Idaho right now is being one of the most successful states in America, okay? And the reason for that is because we actually had this last year the most growth out of any other state. All right, we have gotten the most population growth out of any other state in America this year. Okay, and it happens quite a bit. Now, Idaho does extremely well. Not necessarily do they have to go to college. Not necessarily. There's a lot of other things they can do that they don't have to go to college for. Um, I mean, yes, college always helps, and that has to do with them, but there's a lot of things that they can help build a new city. Absolutely. And so, oh goodness, what was I talking about? I totally spaced for a second. Welcome to the stream there, Frosty Bear. So if we're I don't know, what was I saying? Oh, medical? You'd be surprised how many people in the medical field are looking for medical jobs. I mean, granted, yes, we always definitely need more medical staff as well, but there's also a lot of people who would love to move or find medical jobs somewhere else and different things. They have a little bit of hard time finding work to what you think. Oh, what a save! What a save. Alright, so with Idaho growing so well, the economy grows well. And the reason for that is because everything is booming in the state of Idaho. And all this has to do with population growth. And the fact that we're not like extremely big, we're not like in a sense overpopulated, even though we know that's not really a thing. No, do not chat with my Scotty bot right now, please. It's throwing me off bad. So, if that's the case, and we know if money is being spent, the economy is doing well because it's making the money flow around. That's kind of the general idea of it. Oh, get it? So close. Alright, so that's kind of my possible solution, guys. Just a thought on that. I think it's a great idea. I think it could get those people out of those inner cities, at least some of them, and other people who want to move as well, or whatever else, who's looking for jobs. It would create jobs. It would clean out the inner cities a little bit, which that's kind of the problem. If you keep throwing money on the problem, that doesn't really fix the overall solution. In a sense, what you really need to do is kind of separate people. At least that's what I believe. I believe with all those people, to really get those people out of gangs is to get them away from friends. Get them away from the people that they know, because no. Because it pushes people to do better. It helps show them how to do better. It gets them away from those friends that get them in trouble. on a constant basis, and it helps create jobs. It helps lower the thought of overpopulation because there's so much land on this earth, it's ridiculous. Not only that, like, if the ocean is like 2/3 of water, all right, the ocean is a lot of resource. All right, we got fish, we got seaweed, we got a lot of stuff in the ocean. In fact, we're even looking into the concept of taking ocean water, filtering out the salt and everything else out of it, and making it straight up drinking water. Now, right now, that's a little expensive to do, but it's a possibility. Fact is, we still have those resources, and it's becoming even more and more of a possibility. And as technology gets better, it all starts becoming cheaper. Fish or be damaged by plastic. Well, yeah, that happens on a constant basis, but we still have a ridiculous amount of fish as well. I mean, look at how much ocean we have. You can't tell me we don't have fish. Alright, you can't tell me we don't have plenty of water and everything else. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Hey, thank you for that follow there, Swood Clemson. Welcome to Mappa Marv streaming community, man. Play a lot of games with viewers and try and do political web shows every Saturday for about 30 minutes to an hour. But it's all a good thought. I think it is a great idea, and I would love to hear your guys' comments on it a little bit more. There's a lot of them that don't have plastic in them. Oh my gosh, we are getting destroyed. So destroyed. So, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it more. This video I will be uploading to YouTube. If you like the video, if you like the solution, the possible solution, at least something to get going or work on, or get politicians and other people start looking into this idea, I would love a follow, or like share it to everyone you know. Get the word around if you like it. I think it's a great idea. I hope you guys do too. At least a general idea of it. We can always talk and make it even better. Alright. But yes, this will be going on YouTube. You can find me on my YouTube channel at Voices in Your Head. Look for the guy standing in the front of the frozen waterfall. The Xbox Live Club is Voices in Your Head as well. We also have Facebook and a Twitter, which is Voices in Your Head Gaming. I am Mop Up Marv, and my buddy who's here a lot with me, he's been super busy. What's up there, Frontier Gaming? But we are Voices in Your Head, and we are leaving your mom's basement, guys. I'm going to be stopping this web show here. I'll be turning my stream back on here in a second and playing with viewers. Thanks for everyone watching and putting in your input. I would love to hear more of your comments at YouTube or anywhere else. Message me in the club, YouTube, everything else on what you think. Share the video if you like it. Everything else that's good and wonderful. Alright, guys. Adios and peace.